Thank you, KIS Elementary School. We are super excited to have you here for our concert today. We've been working really hard these past 2 trimesters since our last concert to present some wonderful music learning for you today. I first just wanted to give a big shout out to our percussion section. We have the largest percussion section that we've had in recent years ever, from Miss Cayer saying ever, which is really awesome. So if you play a percussion instrument, that's an instrument that is hit, shaken, or scraped. And we have lots of interesting percussion instruments you're gonna get to see today, which I might introduce as we go. But let's give them a big shout out, everyone. So you'll notice in between each piece that our percussion friends are going to be moving around. They don't play the same instrument on each piece, so they get to learn how to play different instruments on each one. So that's really awesome. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. Our first piece for you today is called Air and Dance. And an air was sort of a procession, something where people would slowly walk to somewhere. And a dance, well, you know what a dance is. So you'll get to hear this delightful piece with 2 different musical styles. All right, thank you. You are such an awesome audience. Way to go. Keep it up. So our next piece is titled Attack of the Garden Gnomes. Now, a gnome, I'm going to read a little bit what the composer wrote. Remember, the composer is the person who wrote the music. So he wrote about the music the following. Today's garden gnomes, with white beards and pointed red hats, were first produced in Germany in the late 1800s. They were made from ceramic, and the first gnomes were designed after make-believe dwarfs found in fairy tales. It's also thought that miners who wore red hats helped to make this design. While modern gnomes looked like benevolent grandfathers, benevolent, that's sort of someone who's very kind, the early gnomes looked like old men who were kind of angry. The composer likened this piece, or he composed this piece after reading about a prank, that's kind of a practical joke, that started in Australia in the 1980s. So to do this prank, someone would kidnap one of someone's garden gnomes, and they take it around the world and send the owner photos from the gnome in front of famous landmarks all the way across the world. So the composer thought, well, what would happen if the gnomes worldwide united to put a stop to all of that madness? What would happen? And this piece is his interpretation called Attack of the Garden Gnomes, where it tells a story of angry lawn figurines that carry out an attack on all of the people that stole them. Let's see what happens. In this piece, one more thing, sorry. In this piece, we have an awesome percussion instrument that you might never have thought could be a percussion instrument. It's actually in cars. It's called a brake drum. So when your parents put the brakes on in the car to help it stop, that's what is happening. It's using a brake drum. So our friend Nicole is going to play the brake drum for us. So you listen for this sound in the piece. And it's also reminiscent, it helps you remember about kind of the miners and them in the mines, like the gnomes were. And now for a piece of music that has a completely different feel, a lullaby. This piece is called Scottish Lullaby. And the melody is taken from an old Scottish lullaby of someone wondering who they might love and marry someday. And it's nice and lyrical, which means it's nice, kind of like a song. A lullaby is what you sing to a baby to put it to sleep. So hopefully we don't put you to sleep with this, but that we have that nice, calm feeling from our piece, Scottish Lullaby. All right, and our final piece that we have for you today is titled Epic Battle 3000. So this piece, as you guessed it, has sounds of battle and sort of battle in between the bands with two different sections. A really nice, exciting piece. And in this one, we have a really fun percussion instrument that you wouldn't, again, normally think of as a percussion instrument. It's called a bunt cake pan. Now, the adults in the audience will know what we're talking about. It's a type of cake that has all sorts of, popular in the 1970s, and it has lines all around it and a big hole in the middle, and that's it right there. This was gifted to KIS from a clinician that came and worked with some of the music teachers from around Korea, and we had never thought about using it as a percussion instrument, and she did something with it, and we thought it was just amazing. So, will you play that for us, Ollie? Who would have thought in the baking cabinet? Epic Battle 3000. Everyone, please let's stand up and let's give him one more big round of applause. So they came into band first day, many of them not even knowing how to pick up their instrument. And for these past 3 trimesters have progressed a lot of hard work to get to their awesome playing today. So, and 4th graders, this will be you next year. How exciting, right?
Thank you so much for being such a fabulous audience when our band was playing. We're very proud of their work and their success, and I hope that you enjoy. We're going to be singing 4 pieces today for you. The first one was quite the challenge, and if you enjoy tongue twisters, I think you'll enjoy this one. It's called A Twist of the Tongue, and most of the song is a tongue twister. So it took us a long time to try to get all those words out, and we hope that you can understand all of them today. Feel free to ask one of the 5th graders later if they can say some of them for you and teach you them. So this one is A Twist of the Tongue.
Turn
going way back to an old Paul Simon tune called Sound of Silence. And the reason that we're singing this song is because if you were here last year, you remember that these students as 4th graders performed The Dark as their 3rd and 4th grade concert.
Yeah.
And we played just the beginning of this song on the xylophones. So then many students were like, we want to do that song, and they got really excited about it and really interested in the song. So this was a kind of a pull from last year, kept our momentum going, and decided to do it for you, the whole thing, this year.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. Because a vision softly creeps
Thank you. We did that song a few years ago, and it's just a nice song when the 5th graders are having their last concert and they're off to a new adventure in middle school. And I do want to recognize Juna, who had our solo at the beginning, and then Peter, Katie, and Victoria, who had the trio at the end. And we have one more song for you today that I think all of you, at least all of the students, probably will recognize. And we hope you enjoy this. I'm not even going to tell you, because you will figure it out as soon as you hear it starting. Enjoy our last song, and thanks so much for coming.
I think I know it. I think I know it. Shoot, you got my
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. Lost in myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground, but I always get up and see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Right before you come, you filled your heart with love. Baby, you've done enough. Take a deep breath. Don't beat yourself up. Don't need to run so fast. Sometimes we come last, but we did our best. I won't give up. No, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up. No, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I'll keep on making those new mistakes. I'll keep on making them every day. Those new mistakes. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything.
I like it.
Wanted to say a couple last thank yous. We had our awesome Soul Campus friends joining us for the band portion. Soul Campus friends, can you stand up, please? Woo! Awesome. This was their first time today joining us, so they did an excellent job. And we also wanted to thank Mr. Bisco, pianist extraordinaire.